Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Executive Director podcast. My name is Becky Caldwell, and I'm your host. I'm an executive coach for nonprofit and mission-driven leaders, and I also serve as the actual, not virtual, executive director of the Virginia Highlands Festival in Abingdon, Virginia. If you listened to last week's podcast with Jen Moff, you heard us talk about the lessons that are available to us now as we are in COVID-19 lockdown throughout most of the world. And I am in the United States in Virginia, where we are supposed to stay home. I will tell you now, I have never wanted to run errands so much in my life as I do when I'm told to stay home. But there you have it. So in an effort to unearth some of these lessons right now, and not wallow in sadness and constantly consume the news about COVID-19, I put a question to the Executive Director Mastermind Group. Actually, I put two questions, but this week's episode is going to be about one of them. And the question was, what are some things, or what's one thing that you've realized no longer works for you? So what is something you've realized no longer works for you personally or you in your organization? And it could be a system, it could be a software, it could be a way of thinking, it could be anything, just what's not working for you right now. And also it could be temporary. So maybe it just doesn't work literally right now, but when we can all go back to our offices and our quote unquote normal lives, maybe it'll work once again. Or maybe it is permanently broken and needs to be fixed. So there were lots of ways to kind of look at this, and that's what I want to explore this week on the podcast. So real quick, because I can't go a podcast episode without mentioning it, if you're looking for executive coaching right now to help get through this crazy time, I do have availability for that. So email me, Becky@virtualexecutivedirector.com, and I will work with you to develop your own strategy and goals for getting through the next 3 months and beyond. And help you to come out of this better than you went into it. The other thing that I want to mention is Patreon. If this podcast brings you value, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter. And big love and thanks to our current Patreon family of supporters. All right, here we go. The things that are no longer working for us. My answer was my lack of access to our financial reports no longer works for me. Now, my organization has a pretty intense separation of powers when it comes to our finances, because I am usually in the office by myself, and I'm the only full-time paid staff person. So our insurance likes that very much, that we have a very definite separation of powers when it comes to access to our financial information and to our money in general. That said, in this time, I really need to be able to see reports. Like, I'm okay not having the ability to manipulate the information, but I need to be able to see it so that I can fill out all of these applications for funding. So, and also I should freaking know it. I'm the executive director. So yeah, that's not working for me anymore. I don't know yet how to fix it. But I have informed my treasurer and our executive committee that this isn't working for me. Someone else responded, and I do love this one. My 9 a.m. staff meeting no longer works for me because my body clock has switched into eternal spring break mode. That is awesome. Yeah, so the timing of things is completely bizarre now, right? It's kind of like when you can work anytime, you end up working all the time or in spurts of time. I mean, it's definitely challenging to stay focused right now, right? Which is why I'm developing that Reclaiming Your Time toolkit, which, look, we're just not going to talk about that right now. But yeah, that 9 a.m. staff meeting, why do you need it? Why does it have to be at 9 a.m.? Why can't it be at 3 p.m. or literally any other time of the day? So I love that it's no longer working because now this executive director is able to listen to their own body and go along with that natural rhythm. That's pretty awesome. Another one, this is really great too. Oh my gosh, the insight in this group, the executive director mastermind. I love you guys so much. The expectation that I'll donate 7 to 10 hours a week to commuting back and forth to an office unnecessarily is no longer working for me. Oh, yes. So much yes on that. And I love the way that they put it, that they would donate 7 to 10 hours a week to commuting. That is so true. Like, now we've learned we don't have to. Now, granted, there are some things you need to be face-to-face for. And I get it that in highly regulated industries, it's harder to work remotely. But come on, giving up 7 to 10 hours a week to commuting. And that's actually a fairly short commute when you look at it on a daily basis. So, yeah, that 7 to 10 hour commute, forget about it. Someone else wrote, it no longer works for me to prioritize anything above my health and strength. Whoo, preach. Yes. Look, this should be true no matter what. Honestly, it's just now. And I did get permission to use this person's name, Jamie Campbell. Jamie Campbell, you're so awesome. Thank you for what you said and for letting me call you out by name. Jamie Campbell, she is awesome. So yeah, Jamie said it no longer works for me to prioritize anything above my health and strength. I believe you. I am here for you. I'm here for that. Another person said, I don't apologize for falling behind anymore. We are all just trying to get by. Anything we do is an improvement on doing nothing. Oh, yeah. I completely feel you on that one, that there's so much information to keep up with, and so many things just are not working for us anymore. And then we have to figure out, okay, well, what does work? And then the information changes again. And suddenly, like that, the Paycheck Protection Program loan, for example, literally one day the payback would be at 5.5%. The next day it was like, no, we're going to do it at 1%. Like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we're not falling behind. We are just barely able to keep up. And how's about we stop beating ourselves up for that? Because this time is bananas. It's bananas. All right. Last one that I have to share. Not having quick access to records from agencies. Okay. So we cannot just pop over to the courthouse anymore, right? Or make a quick call to a government office, which I realize is hilarious as I say that out loud. There was never a quick call to a government office, but quicker call. And now with people not even being in their offices, good luck trying to reach somebody. So yeah, not having quick access to records from agencies is not working anymore. Hopefully that is one that is temporary and will change once the time of COVID-19 is over. So these are the things that are no longer working for us, at least those of us in the Executive Director Mastermind group on Facebook. If you would like to join that group, feel free to find it and apply. Remember, I've got 3 questions that everyone needs to answer. If you don't answer the questions, I just automatically decline your invitation because I can't chase people down. So, it no longer works for me to chase people down and get them to answer the questions. So, do answer the questions, and I can bring you on into the group. Thank you so much for listening. If this was helpful to you, please share it with a friend. If you have not done so and you're just kind of hanging out at home, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. And pet your dog, hug your family member, keep that healthy oxytocin coming through. And next week on the podcast, I'm going to talk about the things we're doing now. So if you have something that you're doing now that you didn't used to do, but now it's a part of your daily routine, please email that to me, Becky@virtualexecutivedirector.com, or you can message me on Facebook through the Virtual Executive Director Facebook page, or also on Instagram @virtual_exec, and let me know so that I can share it on next week's podcast with the other things that those of us in the Executive Director Mastermind have mentioned that are the things we do now. All right. See you next week. And remember, we shine brighter together.